Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today, we're going to be talking about Blue Beetle. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. Ugh. The DCEU. Now, I am aware that labeling the DCU as a pro seems like a real stretch, and it kind of is, but. Once upon a time, DCU movies made money. Okay, it happened. All right, way back in the day, Man of Steel, BVS, the original Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam. They all made money. They were all successful. Does that mean they were all critical successes? No, definitely not the case when it comes to Man of Steel, BVS, and the Suicide Squad. Those three movies have really shitty reputations. Now, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, people looked at those movies and were like, you know what? These are pretty good. Although Aquaman, that's a bit more mid. But people generally like Wonder Woman and Shazam. And people also really like The Suicide Squad. That's my favorite movie out of all of these. But, The Suicide Squad, while it was a critical success, it was anything but a commercial success. But I'll talk about that alongside the rest of the DCU when we get to the cons, because there's a lot to discuss with that. A whole lot. So, we're saving a lot of that for later. But once upon a time, DCU movies made money, so I'm going to label that as a pro. Albeit it's a very weak pro. A pro that's probably going to get weaker when I cover Aquaman 2 when that comes out. So, yeah, so that's pro number one. Pro number two are the reviews for this, which are better than what I expected, honestly. It has a 77% critic score, which sure isn't incredible, but compared to other DCU movies, it's actually above average. And its audience score is a 91%, which seems fine. What's not so fine is its cinema score, which is a B plus, which seems less than ideal for a movie like this. You think this would get like an A or an A minus. Like, you think the superhero movie audience would be like easy to please, but that's not the case anymore, it seems. So let's compare the B plus of Blue Beetle to like other DCU movies. I mean, it's better than what The Flash got. The Flash got a B. I mean, if this any movie like this that gets like a B or lower, that's disaster. That's death. That means you are not going to have a long run at all. So, at least it's not The Flash. But compared to other DCU movies, let's see. Shazam Fury of the Gods got a B plus. Ugh. The first Shazam got an A. What else? Black Adam. What did that get? Black Adam B plus. All right. Suicide Squad. Both Suicide Squads got a B plus, which I think is weird for 2021. I thought people would treat it better, but I guess not. So both 2016 and 2021 they got B pluses. What about Wonder Woman? Wonder Woman, the original got an A, but 1984 got a B plus, which I think is way too high for that movie. Well, Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey, show it to me. B plus. Okay. Aquaman. A minus. Justice League. B plus. Are you noticing a theme here? Batman v Superman. That was a B, which explains why that movie had such a poor run after opening weekend. And Man of Steel A minus, which is kind of shocking. You think that would be a B considering its reputation. So yeah, this has a B plus, which seems par for the course for the DCU, judging by what I've read. So yeah, that's not ideal. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. But its reviews and its audience scores seem fine enough, so I'm gonna label it as a pro. Another pro is the lack of serious competition right now. I mean, there's Barbenheimer, Barbie and Oppenheimer. They've been killing it since July, but it's mid-August. Like it's been over a month. Those movies are pretty much played out. They've been played out at this point. So they're old news. There's also Mutant Mayhem, but that's entering its third week. So that's old news too. Strays doesn't seem like it's gonna hurt this movie at all. So yeah. Everything else is just old or dead. And like everything coming up the next few weeks is pretty lackluster, and none of it is like direct competition at all. I guess the closest thing we got is Gran Turismo, I guess. But yeah, overall competition isn't too bad. It's nothing too detrimental out there, so I guess I'm gonna label that as a pro. Uh, is there any other pros? I think that's it with pros. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I guess more of a middle ground thing has been the marketing for this movie. I mean, it hasn't been like god awful, but this movie hasn't been pushed as hard as you think it would have. I mean, this is a movie that was saved from HBO Max because this was supposed to be an HBO Max movie, but then they changed it to like, save it. Save, make movie theaters happy and make more of their money back. A plan that hasn't been going that great. It only worked once, and that was with Evil Dead Rise. Every other time, bomb. So, and I feel like this is gonna join the bomb pack. But you know, um, they've been pushing it. Obviously, the writer's strike and actor strike that hasn't helped anything at all. That's only made things harder. But I feel like Warner Brothers, like they're pushing it kinda, but not as much as they should. So I'm gonna label that more of the middle ground, but it leans more towards con. So might as well mention that. Okay, actual cons. DCU, let's go right back to that. Oh god. So I label all the successes. Now it's time to label all the failures. So let's go. Justice League, the theatrical cut. That whole movie. Ooh. Oh, I could be here all day describing what went wrong with that. But Justice League, complete failure. It made 655 million on a budget of 300 million. Total disaster. And it was just an absolute nightmare. I mean, we did get the Snyder cut years later, but I feel like that hasn't done. I feel like the whole point of Snyder cut was to like make people happy, but I feel like it hasn't really done that. It just made people. It made Snyderverse fans want more, and then Warner Brothers said no, and then now you have the clear divide. So good job, Warner Brothers. You failed to solve the problem. So yeah, Justice League fail, absolute failure. Birds of Prey wasn't like a huge failure, but it still underperformed. Only up with like 33 million, like 84 million domestic, 200 million worldwide. Not good at all. Didn't help that it was attached to 2016 Suicide Squad, a movie that some have labeled as one of the worst they've ever seen. So you gotta deal with that baggage. And then with the next two movies, Wonder Woman 1984 and The Suicide Squad, I'm gonna give them a slight pass because both had to deal with circumstances that were completely out of their control. Those circumstances being a COVID wrecked marketplace and HBO Max, both being a part of the HBO Max experiment, which definitely cost the studio hundreds of millions of dollars. That did a lot of damage to the studio. But Wonder Woman 1984, that's just a straight up bad movie. The Suicide Squad's a great movie that deserves so much better, and I will always say that. I will say that till I die. The Suicide Squad deserved better. Okay? But yeah, both movies, they lost money. Lots of money. And then you got Black Adam, which came out last year. And Warner Brothers, they tried so hard with Black Adam. It was kind of hilarious and sad. Like, They really tried to push this movie. They spent $200 million on a movie starring the villain of Shazam. And Shazam is a character that was already kind of low on the totem pole when it comes to like popular superheroes. So like what were they expecting out of this? I mean, they thought, "Oh, we have The Rock. He'll sell all the movie tickets." And that didn't really happen. It only opened with like 67 million, made like less than 400 million on a budget 200 million. That's terrible. And after Black Adam, everything went to shit immediately because that's when the DCU reboot was announced with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and that pretty much killed a Black Adam. Well, I don't even think they would make a Black Adam 2. I felt that would have been a bad investment, but it killed Henry Cavill's Superman, as we all know, like the now infamous cameo in Black Adam where like they were like, "Hey, Henry Cavill's back as Superman, be excited." And then like weeks later, gone. Poof. So that made Black Adam, that made the whole movie worthless. So good job, WB. Good job for that. And then after that, things went from bad to worse to disastrous to just absolute straight up catastrophe with Shazam Fury of the Gods back in March. Total bomb. Opened with like 30 million. Had horrendous legs, only making 57 million domestic, 132 million worldwide on a budget of 125 million, 125 million. That worldwide total is less than what the first Shazam made domestically. And like Shazam 2 obviously got curb stomped thanks to Dwayne Johnson, who didn't want to play ball. He didn't want to be involved with Shazam. So, The Rock kind of screwed both movies. So, yeah, yeah, not one but two mega fails. But that's not the only mega fail DC's had this year. We've saved the worst for last. The Flash. Mere 2 months ago, The Flash came out, and Warner Brothers, they pushed this movie even harder than Black Adam. They desperately wanted this to be a hit. Like, no matter all the delays, no matter like the state of the DCU, no matter what Ezra Miller did, all the crimes they committed, didn't matter. Warner Brothers were dead set on making this a hit. They were saying, "Oh, this is the greatest superhero movie of all time." Just a bunch of nonsense that I didn't buy at all, and it seems like most people didn't buy either. Because when the movie came out, opened with 55 million, had god awful legs, made 108 million domestic, and 268 million worldwide total. That 268 million, that should have been its worldwide opening weekend for domestic and international. That should have been its first weekend total, not its entire total. And this is expected to lose like $200 million, man. 200 million. Like, bruh. Oh, so as you can see, the DCEU has become box office poison, if you haven't noticed already. And like after the Flash, like my expectations for Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2, they fell through the floor. I was like, these movies are gonna bomb immediately. There's no shot of them being hits. And with Blue Beetle, recently they've been saying like originally this was like a DCEU move, but now they're saying, oh no, it's connected to the new DCU that James Gunn's been building up, and I'm like, I feel like they're only saying this because they're trying to salvage this movie. They're trying to like save it at the last minute because they know the DCEU is a dead brand, and that has had a very negative effect on the last few movies. Because at this point, DCU movies, they're worthless. They mean nothing. They're going to lead to nothing. So why watch them, right? There's no point in watching them. I haven't watched any this year. I didn't watch Shazam 2. I didn't watch The Flash. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching Aquaman 2 because I don't care. I just don't fucking care. I'm sorry. I I don't give a shit. And most people feel the same way, which is why all these movies are failing so bad. But yeah, the DCEU box office poison. Absolutely. So that's a huge con, a mega con. So that's a big old con right there. Another con is that the Blue Beetle character, most people don't know who that is. Like, you have to kind of be like a DC diehard to know who Blue Beetle is. I barely know who he is. I mainly know him from Injustice 2, and that's it. Like, Blue Beetle is a C tier character at best. Okay, let's be real here. And sure, sometimes popularity of a character doesn't matter. I mean, so look at the Guardians of the Galaxy. No one knew who they were, but then the first movie, it was a huge hit, and then had like Guardians 2 and recently Guardians 3, all hits. And then also there's say Ant-Man to a lesser extent, but the first two Ant-Mans were hits. Ant-Man 3, let's not talk about that one. And I guess Doctor Strange is kind of in the same ballpark where that first movie was a hit. Like, sometimes you don't have to be ultra popular to be a superhero, but it would be nice to be somewhat well known, right? I mean, people knew who Aquaman was, but that was mainly through jokes and memes. But at least people knew who he was. But with Blue Beetle, like, it's kind of obscure, like too obscure for some people. So yeah, Blue Beetle, like, his C tier status, that's a con, definitely. See another con. Uh oh, it's Thursday previews. Oh no. Ooh, 3.3. That is terrible for superhero movies. Really terrible. How terrible, you ask? Well, let me show you. Its Thursday preview was worse. Worse than Shazam 2. That was 3.4. Keep in mind, Shazam 2 opened in March. Blue Beetle's in August. So Blue Beetle has a summer advantage. Shazam didn't. So the fact that Blue Beetle did worse than this is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. What's even more embarrassing, I guess I can compare this to Shang-Chi, why not? Shang-Chi, no one knew who he was, like, at all. But even then, that movie had a Thursday preview of 8.8. That's almost triple a Blue Beetle. And then what is it, Internals, a movie that everyone hates, including me. Yeah, that had a better Thursday preview, way better. 9.5 million. That's almost three times as much. You see the problem here? You see how bad this really is? Actually, I'm gonna show you some more just to really drive my point home. Morbius. It's Morbin time, Morbius. That had a Thursday preview of 5.7, and that was a huge disaster. So the fact that Blue Beetle is doing worse than all these movies, none of these movies being hits, by the way, like, that should tell you a lot. That should tell you a whole lot. So, yeah, Thursday previews are terrible. Absolutely terrible. And, superhero movies are historically front loaded because the diehard fans, they show up day one before anybody else. So there's like a rush to watch the movie. So, yeah. So this number is an absolute disaster. So that's a con, easy con. Oh, I just thought of something. This 3.3 million you see here, that is not much better than what Haunted Mansion made several weeks back. Haunted Mansion 2023. That had a Thursday preview of 3.1 and opened with 24 million. So yeah, uh we're looking at a mega fail here. Although I guess, what about Meg 2? What about that? I forgot how that did in Thursday previews. That was 3.2. So I mean, it's better than the Meg, but I don't think it matters. The Meg 2 isn't even a hit. It only up with like 30 million, which isn't great at all. So yeah, compared to pretty much like most similar movies, it looks awful. So yeah, Thursday previews are terrible. So that's con. I think that's it with. I think I mentioned all the major points. I don't think I missed anything. I guess I could mention how obviously this movie is trying to like go after the Hispanic market. And you know what, the Hispanic market is quite lucrative. I mean, like I've seen like plenty of articles like look at like the audience demographics for like certain movies, how the Hispanic audience kind of like can over index and it can like really boost a movie's box office to where like they account for like 30% of the total audience. I'm like, wow, that's a big number. It's pretty impressive. So this movie is clearly trying to appeal to that group. Kind of like this has been done plenty of times where certain movies are geared towards certain audiences, certain specific audiences, like how Crazy Rich Asians was obviously geared more towards Asians, Asian Americans, right? And I guess Tyler Perry movies, for example, are more geared towards African American audiences, and so on and so on. Like that's how it works. But sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes the audience can kind of realize they're just being pandered to, and it's a turnoff for them. But it's very much a case by case basis. So I'm not gonna label it as a pro or a con. It's more like a middle ground thing, but it is something to note. So yeah. So I think that's it. So opening weekend. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Okay, so like before the weekend, I was thinking, maybe this could hit the 30s. I don't think that's realistic anymore. I think it's gonna hit in the mid 20s, which is just fucking humiliating for a movie that cost like over 100 million. I've heard like numbers like 104, 120. Doesn't matter. 25 something million is fucking abysmal for a big movie like this. So I'm gonna say an opening weekend between 25 and 30, somewhere in that range. And it's total. I'm not sure how his legs will be. Maybe it'll have long. I don't think it's gonna have long legs. I don't think it's gonna have. I don't expect its legs to be as poor as Shazam 2 or The Flash. I'm not expecting this to have like a multiplier of less than 2, but you never know. um, I'm gonna say 70 million, give or take, 65 to 70, 75 million. Let's go with that. And then that's it for Blue Beetle. Sad. Another L for the DCU. And as I mentioned, like as you can see, like with my thumbnail, I called it's a death spiral because that's what it is. It's an absolute death spiral. It's so embarrassing. So yeah, so that was Blue Beetle. So one more movie to talk about this weekend, that's Strays. And then after that we'll be done. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year. If you want to watch my prediction videos for Shazam 2 and The Flash, go right ahead. You can just see how the DCU is literally falling apart at the seams. So if you want to watch those and any other ones I've done on the channel, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I've covered Blue Beetle once, and that was when it was announced. And that was episode 97. So it was a very long time ago. I talked about it alongside The Black Phone, Last Train to New York, a movie that I guess is dead at this point because I've heard nothing about it since making that video. And no, I think they may have mentioned it before. I may have mentioned afterwards, and then it just died. And Toto. So uh yeah, talked about it alongside those movies. So want to watch that episode or any other ones I've done? I've done 200 of them. I'm planning on doing another one once something else drops. But yeah, I've done 200 episodes. If you want to watch any of those episodes from beginning to now, want to binge them all from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that. So go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. August recap is going to be coming out the first week of September, so after Equalizer 3 releases. That's going to be negative. Real negative. It's like June all over again, right? At least you got Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. At least that'll make 100 million domestic. You got one. At least there's that. Ugh. Yeah, but and also summer recap, three-parter, the non-losers, the small losers, and the big losers. I'm pretty sure we all know where Blue Beetle will, which category Blue Beetle will fall into. I think we can all guess. um, but yeah, I'm planning on doing those like in late September. So if you want to watch, so just stay tuned for those. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.